Oh,
we were in a standoff.
Jeff and Winston were having a standoff, a staring contest. Winnie, you're so sweet, little puppy, but you're also very barky. So he's gonna sit here until he jumps down.
Yeah, he's been barking at the neighbors a little
You've
bit.
been barking.
They had a party last night, so it
So
kept
many
him
parties. Aren't y'all tired of Halloween? Why are you partying? Yes, I'm talking to the neighbors who definitely don't watch
There
this
weren't
podcast.
Halloween parties. I feel like we weren't kept up, but apparently last night, I don't know, maybe it was somebody's birthday.
Yeah, I don't recall. Well, actually, there might have been. Well, I don't know.
It was also like coolish out, so they had their sliding glass door open, and that was really the source of the noise.
Yeah.
They didn't actually wake anybody up.
No. Daylight savings, speaking of
Yes.
waking up, we
It's
do
noon
not.
for us right
yeah,
now.
it is noon. So, magical theory lunchtime time.
Magical theory, lunchtime time.
no.
It's the second verse.
Okay, oh my gosh, this week, I feel like last week it was just like, well, also we were in weird cat face rig, so it
Yes,
was
we were.
a chaotic stream.
It was a chaotic stream, because I actually remembered when I was putting on this shirt this morning, I was like, last week I put on my other Harry Potter shirt, but we couldn't see it, because I was a cat.
Oh yeah, you did. You put your
dragon
Hogwarts cat on. Your Hogwarts shirt on.
Yes. That was fun, though.
This week, though, lots of things I feel like that we've
Deep Rock
done.
Galactic.
Okay, so you can't... Oh, yeah, you can see it. So Jeff's desk is now in what we're calling the stream room. What I'm calling the stream... Well, it is the stream room, but it's now the gaming cave.
Yes.
And I played Deep Rock Galactic, which is You're all dwarves. I played this with Profs Play. You have different missions. You mine stuff. You fight giant spiders that come and try to eat you and poison you and all that. So this weekend, I think it's still free right now at this moment. This weekend on Steam, it was free. So I was like, Jeff, you should check it out. We should play. You love dwarves.
Or rock and stone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, okay, so the whole fandom
or rock and stone
around Deep Rock Galactic is very it's a very specific. It's kind of it reminds me of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, where you have a core knit of people that are just so into
everything about it.
Yeah, and I love it.
Yeah, because your home base has a lot of details.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've only played twice, so maybe those details run out pretty quickly, but it's kind of cute. There's a bar, and then you can dance, and there's these little games for no reason.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it, but then they really commit to the setting, and they're like, "This is what
it's
this
a very
game
dwarves
is."
in space. It is because it has first it's mining.
Yeah.
So I love that.
No, so it's been fun. So it's we were playing and we're in the same room now, so it's just we just talk to each other.
The move was, I think it's good on a lot of fronts, but the main reason was just for the connection speed, really. I mean, in that where our other room is.
Yeah. It's
not only is it our
apartment,
normal bed, so it's kind of weird to have it next to sleep, where I sleep, but just it's a lot of walls, and it's hard for the Wi-Fi to get there, and then the thing is in this room, so we
now
just
we have
ran the
Ethernet.
cord. Yeah.
Both computers have Ethernet.
So it's working very
connection.
well. So now I'll be streaming, right?
Yeah, Jeff's gonna stream Hogwarts Legacy on the
February.
the alt channel.
We are getting closer. It's November.
I know. We're getting close, but it's still in this okay, so speaking of Hogwarts Legacy,
yes.
I was on a panel.
Yes, you were.
On Friday, hosted by Podcast Now on his channel, and there were 6 of us, including him, and we were just chatting about Hogwarts Legacy and, how we're feeling, and I'm in such a weird place because I'm so anxious, or not anxious with anticipation, where I'm like, I just want to play. It's been a lull in terms of marketing and news.
Yeah, it has been a little bit of a lull.
Yeah, so I'm
Which makes
just
sense.
kind
They're
of
on the final closeout here.
I know.
It's got to be sooner rather than later, as we know, because if they're shipping physical things.
I don't know if when games announce when they go gold, when they're set it's like, okay, it's published.
I don't think so.
Published ready.
No.
Because I feel like I saw something, I don't remember which game it was, because I didn't know the phrase until there was this one game, and I was like, oh, there's a phrase for that. Of course there is, like, in the industry.
Going gold,
gosh,
is that it?
Yeah, I think it's going gold is what it's called.
Interesting.
I don't know. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun.
I imagine it'll
chatting
be
with people.
Maybe around the turn of the year.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a big PR
Not a little
push
bit sooner.
in January. No, not sooner.
Yeah, it is holiday. So like after Halloween, it's kind of like you only have Thanksgiving comes closer than you think. Like we already finished.
I know
the
the
first
semester
week of
is
November.
very close to ending.
Yeah.
Which is wild. But so here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Do we know for sure if is there a physical disc?
Yeah.
There is.
Well, so there's only like a couple consoles that actually accept physical. So it's the Xbox Series X, I believe. I don't know. I don't never remember the difference between them.
Does PlayStation 5 have a disc?
No. 4 does. But 5 there's
Switch.
like I think there's an external thing that you can buy and hook up to it, which
but they may not make it.
Yeah,
later.
I don't know.
I don't know what the turnaround time on making something like that actually is, But since they have a physical thing like that to me like really pushes it back.
Closer to the actual
you can't just be
date.
like, oh, just download this new patch into it like a day before and that's the release or something. You can't do it.
But
physical things.
It could be that like when you insert the disc and then it's like
but then
you must update because it
people need
connects to the
download
internet, right?
space.
Yeah. That's true. I don't know how games work. Just kidding. What else did we do? What did we watch? We watched something. Oh, we watched the Weird Al movie. It's free, actually. The Roku channel is free. You don't even need to make an account. That's the thing I was most concerned with because now I'm just like anti every company that's like, give me your email. And I'm like, no. Give me your phone number. Yeah, so I can get 50 more spam calls and texts. Like, no, stop with my data. But anyway.
I've been getting a ton of political emails, as I told you, which is wild. I'm like, it'll be the whole list. There'll be like 15 in a row. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, spam is not fun. But we watched the Weird Al movie, the biopic, which is actually a spoof on biopics.
Yep.
And then I was curious. It was a parody, yeah. I was curious because I was like, all right, like, let me just look up stuff. Because the reason I found what I showed you after it was because apparently there's a mid-credit scene. And so Madonna's in the movie, so it involved Madonna.
Not actually Madonna.
It's not Madonna. Madonna's in the story. It's Evan Rachel Wood.
Yeah.
Rip Westwood World.
I know.
Westwood. Westwood was the barbecue place in Fresno.
Yes, it was.
But when I was looking it up, I found this Funny or Die, which produced the movie itself. Funny or Die on their YouTube channel 9 years ago had this like Weird Al like biopic. It was basically
a trailer. Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I'll watch it. It was literally so close to the movie that we watched, and I was like, hilarious. Oh my God, they made this, and then they decided to flesh it out.
They amped it up even more.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
it's a ridiculous
where the ridiculousness
movie.
of the trailer ends, like the movie takes over and is even more outrageous.
If you're like, why are they talking about Weird Al? It's because Daniel Radcliffe stars as Weird Al.
Yeah, he does.
In this movie. And
he does.
It's a lot of fun.
Daniel is amazing. I love that guy. It's so funny. He's so funny. It's a ridiculous movie. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It is. It is, indeed.
And soon we're going to watch Enola, too. Enola Holmes,
Enola Holmes.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Millie Bobby Brown.
Yes.
Which I didn't realize. I know.
So I knew who she was when we watched it, but I didn't.
When we watched the
first
movie.
At that point, I had not seen Stranger Things. I just knew who she was because of Stranger Things.
I see. I knew the name.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't know that was the person.
That was her. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, but yeah, we love Sherlock, like the Sherlock world, and so this is like a fun. Enola is a fun.
The first one was really good, and this should be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so the holidays. Yeah, Game Awards also.
Game Awards.
Game Awards is December, I believe, 8th. It's that Thursday, so it's not the 8th, it's either the 7th or the 9th. I think it's the 8th. And the reason I know this is because I was planning my schedule. I already planned my November
Well, I could definitely
streams.
see it because pre-orders are up. So it'd be like the holiday push of like, hey,
Buy
pre-order this.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
If you would like to, you can use my affiliate link. No, just kidding. For Amazon.
Oh.
Yeah, lots of fun things going on in terms of media that we've been watching and consuming. And yeah, November is chugging along. We're going to continue Magical Theory podcast at our new noon time for us. Noon Mountain. I don't want to confuse people. It actually is still 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Arizona is strange.
Arizona. Well, yeah,
For
but
one
now
more year.
nobody else is going to...
When we lock back into Pacific, we will be Pacific.
Oh, I thought this was the last time.
Nope. I
Wait,
don't think so.
what?
I think we're going to be Pacific.
Oh.
Yeah, which seems silly. We should be mountain, but whatever.
Who
'Cause
knows?
We're quite a bit east.
I mean, I'm fine with it because I don't like having... I mean, I know that Hawaii... I have some Hawaii viewers, but I don't... And Alaska, I guess. Zoe's in a different time zone. But usually Pacific is like my... Oh, okay.
Well,
the sun
just
is
to
setting.
make sure
I don't
it's
need
not
to
like-
keep track of, like...
Yeah.
Beyond that, because then it gets too far away from Eastern time for all you Eastern folks out there. And I know, like, UK and, like, other places further east are...
Yeah, but people are used to it. It
Yeah,
is
you just kinda
complicated,
watch
but
when
the
you
3-hour
can.
gap is the more
The
complicated.
3-hour one is
'Cause
complicated.
you don't really plan around ones that are more than that, or, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So for today's Hogwarts Legacy Lore, let's start with that. Okay, I was kind of like not that great with clues because this was a situation where I was like, I can give you 2 clues and you can get it. So let me make up a third clue. So the first clue I gave was consumable. The second was liquid. And originally the third was going to be orange.
Yeah.
And I conferred with Jeff and I was like, there's got to be a better word because all I want to say is pumpkin, but
Well,
that's
because
like
I wasn't
not
convinced that it's orange.
I
was like, I feel like
think
it's brown.
What color is pumpkin juice? All the pictures of the like DIY, like make your own pumpkin juice. it is like a brownish orange tint. But anyway,
Yes.
the third clue was fruit,
Yes.
which I think Ecto I think got it right away, and then people were converging, and I was like, okay, good, because the day that I mislead y'all with these clues, I'm gonna feel so bad, and be like, no, they didn't get it because I gave bad clues. So the poll for today is about refreshments in the Wizarding
Look
World.
at that.
There are actually more refreshments in the Wizarding World than these 4. So I'm going to give you some information about them in case you don't know what they taste like or what is it about these drinks. So first round is on us. What will you have? The options are pumpkin juice, butterbeer, fire whiskey, and giggle water, which is not getting any love, but that's fine. So first up, pumpkin juice, which is the actual password for today. What do you know about pumpkin juice?
I always presumed it's kind of like apple juice,
Yeah,
but
or-
it's pumpkin flavored.
I
So
don't
it would
think
be non-alcoholic, sweet.
Yeah.
You know,
it doesn't
like,
sound appealing to me,
It
but
doesn't sound
I
appealing
also
to me either.
don't drink juice. Like I don't drink orange juice, apple
I like
juice.
apple juice.
Even in like breakfast
Not a big
scenarios,
fan
I'm
of
like,
orange
just give
juice.
me coffee. I'll drink some water.
Yes,
I don't
you
want
are.
juice.
yes. Give me hot chocolate.
So it's not exclusive to Wizarding folk, but
No.
this drink, it's usually served iced.
Okay.
Does seem to be pretty popular.
Iced. That's pretty
in
unusual
Harry's
relative
world.
to like juices that we were just talking
Yeah.
about.
Iced in a flagon, it says.
Iced in a flagon.
While the gourd is usually a staple of such occasions.
You wanted
like-
to do gourd. Oh no, did you do gourd as a
I didn't do gourd.
You wanted to do
I
gourd
was
as
like,
a
yeah,
kid.
what do I say? Do I say gourd? Is that...
I was like, that would be pretty
Well,
great.
the gourd-
Everyone would get it.
Yeah, for sure. Is usually a staple of such occasions like Halloween for muggles.
Sure.
Pumpkins are regularly enjoyed all year round among wizards, with pumpkin pasties also heralded as a casual snack.
I just realized
And they're
Winston is
nutritious.
behind you.
Yeah, this is where
His
he
little
sits.
head. Look at his head.
Yep. This is me Monday
he
mornings.
is such a maniac.
So that's pumpkin juice.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I would try carrot juice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess
I don't think I've
some
had
people
carrot
drink
juice
tomato juice. Isn't well?
People
I mean, like,
really like tomato juice.
Yeah.
I do not like tomato juice.
Yeah.
It's so bitter.
I don't know. I'm not a juice fan.
I like apple juice.
I
That's pretty
will
much it.
drink juice in so much as it's in a smoothie.
I like apple cider even more.
You know what?
I could
Apple
drink some
cider is good.
Well, we had some great
Michigan
cider in Michigan.
apple
Yeah.
cider.
Fresh
that
off the
that
farm,
really
like-
turned me, and I was like, okay, I must have. We didn't have cider
Apple
this
brandy.
year though. Apple brandy, yeah.
No, I got cider.
learned
No, I guess that was probably
about-
Fresno.
I can't tell you what we learned, but we did learn something about brandy and cognac and how.
Oh yeah, it's like the regions and the.
We looked up all sorts of stuff because were we looking up something specific for a drink? We were looking up stuff because of Scotch. So we drink a lot of whiskey,
Yeah.
or more now than we used to. So we have a variety. And Jeff was encouraging me to find an app because we have this app for beer that we log our entries so that we know what we've consumed and what we liked. And I don't really keep up with it that well, but I was like, there's probably one for whiskeys. And then we went down this hole of looking
I'm trying
for
to
different
remember.
stuff.
I feel like it was
it a
related to the
cocktail?
port. We were like talking
Oh,
about
yeah,
a
we were
different
talking
type of
about
wine,
port.
and it turned out to be
Oh,
a wine.
sherry.
Sherry.
We were talking about
The
sherry.
sherry casks. The finish.
That's where it started.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
the whiskey finish and sherry cask. Then we talked about sherry.
It's
and
like,
port
oh, what is
and-
the flavoring? It's like a little sweeter, and then yeah, bop, bop, bop.
Okay, I don't know why
I
I
didn't
started
know
talking
giggle
about
water.
this.
Is giggle water champagne?
Giggle
I didn't know
water.
this.
Okay, let's skip ahead to giggle water.
Interesting.
In Fantastic Beast and Where to Find Them,
I've heard of it.
the characters visit a dingy speakeasy called the Blind Pig, which introduce. Why is pig in like a lot of
Whining
names?
pig
Like the
is
whining
just
pig is in
over here.
Phoenix. To a new transparent-looking wizarding drink, giggle water.
Okay.
As the name suggests, this causes the drinker to get slightly giggly. Jacob found out in one rather amusing scene. In the Muggle world, giggle water is a slang term and was usually used to describe champagne. I also did not know that because I assumed. So as I was building this, I didn't even read. This is the first time I'm reading the descriptions actually. As I was building this, I was like, "Oh, what about something that's like water based or like not
Just
necessarily
like tonic water.
Yeah, no, giggle water, champagne. Sorry.
Well, it's not necessarily clear that the wizard version is champagne or has alcohol in it. It might. But from what you read, I didn't
It
hear
says
that.
giggle water is a slang term to describe.
Yeah, well, giggle water is a slang term for muggles for champagne.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe they're like, oh, we'll call it giggle water because it has similar effects, but it's
Could be.
non-alcoholic.
Could be.
Because when you
Does
drink
sound
champagne,
bubbly for sure.
it's
So
like
it
that
could be.
episode of How I Met Your Mother where it's like the different alcohols have different effects on them, and they're like, oh, we'll give them.
Absinthe.
Let's get a round of champagne, and then
Oh,
they
they
get mad at
forgot
each
everything.
other. Yep. Let's see. Oh, the terminology cropped up in the 1920s when America was dogged by Prohibition and the famous alcohol ban.
Weird.
Meanwhile, in the wizarding world, Serafina Pickery, the president of MACUSA, avoided the ban, saying giggle water is non-negotiable. That suggests to me that giggle water does have alcohol in
Yeah,
it.
it does.
Mmm.
It does.
Yeah, speakeasies
I'm
with
sorry,
some
also,
giggle water.
Wait. Are we implying that American wizards were following prohibition?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess
no,
like
that seems crazy. What? Do they also follow the speed limit when they're on their brooms? I don't think so. Grief.
come on, American wizards. No, that's giggle water.
Yeah.
Then we have so butterbeer is currently in the
You've
lead.
had butterbeer. You've made
Classic.
butterbeer.
I made butter.
Scotch. It was like butterscotchy.
It was butterscotch cocoa.
Yes, it was
So
quite
it was
good. But we
kind
had-
of like a chocolatey.
It was extremely good.
butterbeer.
It was, in my opinion, better than butterbeer that we've had at like Harry Potter World.
The OG of Wizarding World drink is butterbeer, a comforting, warming pick-me-up that Harry and his friends enjoyed on numerous occasions. Taste-wise, butterbeer has a foamy texture, can be served either chilled in bottles or hot, steaming in a tankard.
We do not do that many hot alcoholic drinks. Just a couple.
No, just, well, because
The hot
it's not
toddy.
really a need for it. Temperature-wise, yeah. It's not like, okay,
Unless you're
yeah,
tailgating.
it's in like, yes, okay, so
Then you just drink beer, I guess.
I can't express to you how foreign my life in Michigan and like experiencing my life in Michigan was.
Thunder.
Being somebody who grew up in Texas heat and then went to a literal desert for university study, like, and then going straight to Michigan and being like, why are you people outside drinking beer?
This?
This makes no sense to me. I don't care that you're drinking alcohol and you think it's making you warm. It is freezing outside. What are you doing? With your bundled up stuff, and I'm like, okay, I had to buy a jacket because I didn't own it. Anything that was thick enough. Yeah. So, butterbeer. Then, of course, Jeff told me, we talked about this before, and I would probably pick the same. Fire whiskey is
As I selected it.
what I would select. Presumably, a more intense wizarding drink, fire whiskey, particularly the brand Ogden's Old Fire Whiskey, was a...
Like Bob Ogden.
That's apparently I didn't follow up in the next layer of rabbit hole to look that up specifically, but it sounds like it. Was a favorite among numerous Wizarding World characters, such as Gilderoy Lockhart, Rita Skeeter, and Ron's Uncle Bilious.
I believe that Harry's first experience with fire whiskey is after Moody dies.
Yes.
Yes.
One poignant use of the drink. Well, because actually the quote on the Wizarding World website, which is linked in the description as well, is Bill is the one who he has like all the rounds given out to everyone and does his toast.
Yep.
We're not there yet. Moody's still alive. Don't worry.
No, we're a couple of years from there. Moody is still alive, but we just barely have met him. Or we will meet him for the first time.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Real Moody. Remoody, not Foodie.
Remoody.
Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy.
Rudy and Foodie.
We're going to hazard a guess that fire whiskey has some sort of quality beyond our regular muggle whiskey, which makes it so popular.
Yeah, I would always assume that it had some kind of actual body warming thing. Like it was like actually created body temperature increase, but I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I'm like losing it. What's the name of the fire, not fire, but the
Fireball?
whiskey that Fireball. I was like, fire's in the name, and I don't know what it's called. We talked about Giggle Water. We talked about those. Okay, so those are the 4 in the poll. We also have Gilly Water as a drink.
Water.
Yes. Okay,
I feel like does Slughorn order that or something? Anyway.
We see Gilly Water mentioned a few times in the Harry Potter books. This is Professor McGonagall's drink of choice at the 3 Broomsticks.
Okay.
We also see Luna drinking it. Harry professes to not liking it much at one point. Can we assume the Gilly part is in reference to gillyweed, the magical seaweed-esque plant?
I would, yeah.
This is framed as a question, even though I'm like, Wizarding World, you should know the answer to this. Why are you asking this question? We're pretty sure Professor McGonagall didn't develop gills when she drank this, but we do wonder if this makes Gilly Water a healthier drinking choice for social occasions. So that could be, like, doubt. You think that it just...
She's going for it.
It's actually harder than fire whiskey.
151.
Oh my goodness. We also have, this is the last one featured on that Wizarding World website post, elf-made wine. We have this consumed on numerous occasions, Hagrid perhaps the most frequently. House elves make a particular type of wine that everyone enjoys. A house red, perhaps? A house elf, house red.
Magic.
Yeah. Yeah, you just make it.
It tastes like what you want. It's Birdie Baby. It's Birdie Watts, every flavor beans, but for wine. And it's always good.
And it's,
So it's like that love potion smell.
No, yeah, you make it. You enchant. Why don't you do that for all food? You just make it taste
that would be kind of
boring.
Terrible. Oh. Everything tastes like your favorite food. Then you'd be like, it's no longer my favorite food. And then,
oh my
boom,
God. Then it
explodes.
changes. No. This is the drink that Hagrid and Slughorn enjoyed a substantial amount of during Aragog's funeral.
Oh.
house elves are talented fellows, so we imagine their winemaking skills are pretty great. I guess so. I mean, I guess if you can just like magic whip up some cooking real good, you can probably... Does it translate? It's probably different skills, but it's magic. House elves are good at everything.
I like it. Do you think we're going to be able to imbibe beverages?
Yes. So this was actually a recent conversation because of the topic of Hogwarts Legacy being rated T for teen. And use of alcohol was one of those categories specifically.
Well, I feel like it's going to be a drop. We'll probably be able to buy it. It'll probably replenish like health or mana or something.
Yeah. So in the context of the game, it could be also that... so take the example of... Okay, am I inferring this wrong, that Ron's Uncle Bilious is, like, drunk a lot? Was that the implication
I don't know,
of
but
fire
he's supposed
whiskey?
to be very old, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because I'm also imagining that the use of alcohol could be not just or not necessarily us, but other people. Like, if we're hanging out at a bar, you might have some, like,
well, we're gonna
drunken,
go into
which
the
is... Yes.
Hogshead.
Yeah, and we're chatting with that goblin.
3 broomsticks.
Yes. So both of those are available for us to explore. But...
And it's pre-prohibition in
And
America,
we talked about butterbeer with Winky.
Yes.
Because there is a buzz that Hermione, I think, feels.
Yes.
But Winky gets straight up drunk off of butterbeer.
Yeah.
Who knows how many
Winnie.
she drank, but yeah.
She's just a tiny.
Just a tiny.
Gotta modulate.
Yeah, so I think... Well, there's also... In games, though, in some games, alcohol actually has an alcoholic effect.
Yes,
Isn't
and
it?
WoW.
Wow, that's what it was. I was like, is it Divinity that we drink alcohol? I couldn't remember, but for sure, WoW, you get...
Well, in WoW, you get dizzy.
Yeah.
So, like,
no, I
shakes the
remember that.
screen,
Yeah.
Which was quite unpleasant, so I never drank in that game. I did it like once, and I was like, oh, I hate this. It makes me nauseous. Other games do the same thing, though. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, I feel like... Is it Divinity where you, like, if you drink enough, you, like, fall down? I think you might. Just, like...
I know that in Divinity, there's, like, actual, like, environmental physics. So, like, if there's ice, there's a chance that you'll slip, because I kept slipping all the time.
Yes.
So I would imagine that there's probably something in there with drinking and...
I could see it.
Yeah, and stumbling and all of that. Yeah, I mean, butterbeer is so classic. I imagine to see that in game. To what extent, like, or what the effects would be. I think, like, yeah, maybe a temporary boost.
I could see a retrieval quest of, like, go get this very rare fire whiskey herb that's made in the mountains and is guarded by,
what about
dragon.
Wizarding World DoorDash?
You just apparate the food.
Just apparate the food. Yeah, so I think like it would be cool to see a variety of different beverages have a variety of different effects, I think. So like pumpkin juice, I think, could restore just like replenish.
Fizzy lifting drink.
Fizzy lifting.
From Willy Wonka.
What if we
start floating?
Well, okay, so this is not necessarily a beverage, but it's something that's consumable, but the Veritaserum, so like Hermione dumping Veritaserum and everyone's
we'll definitely have consumables because of potions.
Yeah.
And I presume like we actually imbibe them, but I guess I don't know for sure. Maybe you just take them.
Yeah. In Skyrim, there's a quest where you have a drinking contest with someone. I have not done that. How do I do that shit?
Can't hold their liquor.
There's probably a lot of cool stuff. That getting tipsy while looking at Hogwarts, #life goal.
That's basically Harry Potter world.
Yeah, exactly.
We went because we also went to Moe's Tavern.
Moe's Tavern and Universal.
And a Duff Spear.
Oh my gosh, that was funny.
Yeah.
Remember there's a location in the summer ASMR there was, and it wasn't open. It was like in the morning or like early morning, but there were like little mugs and everything out. It was like on the waterfront, and that definitely looked like a pub to me. So
yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I have to go back and look.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else with that?
No.
Yeah,
We've talked
a little bit about consuming things before, but it's we haven't actually seen anything like that. Like, okay, most of the stuff that we've
buffs.
seen.
Are there buffs from eating or drinking food?
We haven't seen like game overlay stuff.
No,
they have
kept not shown us much UI stuff.
So we haven't seen anything.
True game mechanics.
Yes.
We've seen spells get cast.
Yes.
We've seen some things like that we can manipulate the world with certain spells, but yes, agreed.
Yeah, and on Friday we were chatting about seasons, how seasons will work, the day-night cycle and whatever. And one of the examples I was talking about was Breath of the Wild with the little you can see the weather coming. I just don't have any sense of what would be visible on our screen to look at or
mini map. I don't know.
And so when Link consumed meals, so there are certain meals he could make that had freeze resistant, resistant to cold and other things like that.
Skyrim too. I mean, it's like.
But there would be a little timer that pops up on the screen, so it would tell you okay, it lasts this long. So I'd expect something.
Breath of the Wild did a really great job with their UI because it would be the little timer and it would just have the little snowflake symbol, so that you know this is about frost or this is a flame for fire.
Yep.
You didn't have to mouse over anything to get all of the information that was important, which is incredibly good. I mean, that is peak UI. If you don't have to mouse over something to know exactly what it does. Because
then you have really that consistency of the symbology, because you also see it with his equipment and all of that.
That's really why people really seek UI UX designers that are good, and they're rare. They are rare.
So Red Dead Redemption 2, you can get into some serious bar fights through drinking, and the whole world goes hazy. Yeah, I don't think that we'll get that level, just because I feel like it would be a bit more intense for a Harry Potter IP game. But games do stuff like that, and I think it's fun because it's just kind of goofy.
Yeah. It's RP.
In Deep Rock Galactic, actually, so we didn't. That you can order rounds of beer at the bar. They didn't have it when we played, but there is a drink that's a super strong ale, and it does the thing where it makes everything dizzy, and you pass out, and then you wake up in the hospital wing. There's no it doesn't hurt you. It's just this weird little.
It has no mechanical meaning.
This little quirky thing. Yeah, it's cute. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay.
That's our password for today. Oh, let's get into...
We have to draw. We have to draw.
Whoa.
Excellent audio control. Didn't bank on anything. I would.
Oh, I did it again.
Okay.
I think we could probably talk about that. And it's time.
Voldemort wand. Ah!
I do have a Voldemort wand, and you know what's funny? Well, you don't have we don't have a Harry Potter wand actually, but when you were holding that, I was imagining Harry's favorite spell as Expelliarmus, because somebody was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do the Harry Potter Expelliarmus run," and Hogwarts see all you do is Expelliarmus.
Yes.
But in that case, wand's
ready. Turn to page 20. A Peck of Owls. Today's lesson is called Petunia is the Muggle Snape. The chapter begins with Mrs. Figg Is it Mrs. Figg? I don't know.
Yeah.
Mrs. Figg revealing what she knows as a squib, including her communication with Dumbledore. Mundungus returns and goes to tell Dumbledore, about the events. Harry lugs Dudley into their house, and Petunia and Vernon go insane. What's new? Letters from the Ministry arrive to label Harry a criminal. Petunia pulls a fact about Dementors out of nowhere. Sirius sends a letter telling Harry not to leave, but Vernon concludes he must, and is in the process of kicking Harry out when Petunia gets a howler and declares Harry must stay.
I must say, this is also a very long chapter. I think it's actually 2 pages longer than last week's chapter. But you are very concise with your summary.
I'm turning the corner.
Yeah, it's
just jam-pack it in there.
Let's get to it.
Yeah. I add less details.
Yep. Can you imagine what Harry Potter is experiencing in his life right now? Because I'm trying to put myself... I don't understand how this child is not just deeply paranoid about every person he encounters. Okay, first of all, teachers want to kill him, have wanted to kill him, have tried to kill him.
Had a evil demon on the back of their head.
Yeah. You have polyjuiced witches and wizards, which that alone would make me paranoid as a witch in the wizarding
You know what
world.
I like about that early comment is you have this, like, all of his professors want to kill him, but Snape isn't one that has tried to kill him, even though he is most antagonistic with Snape.
Yes,
so it's
because
like,
he thinks
you got
Snape
Quirrell,
is.
you got Foodie, Lockhart.
Foodie.
Yeah.
Oh my
Questions about
gosh.
Lupin that arose.
Yeah. So you have the polyjuice wizards, and then you just have animagus cats roaming around. You have people spying on you. Your neighbor is a squib. What is happening?
Cedric died.
You know?
Rip.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
And that was just, he just touched something.
Yeah.
And it caused this
yes
situation.
You can touch something and die, or get transported.
Here's an idea. Why didn't Moody just go into, like, Harry's dressing room, do it on his bed sheets or his pillow, boom, boom, graveyard, alone, dead, end of story.
Yep.
Voldemort wins.
Yep.
Nope, had to be complicated.
There are so many opportunities that Harry Potter could have died. So many. He escapes death billions of times.
He did. He does. He did.
So, yeah, it's just like, it's really funny because you have this, it was, the reveal was at the end of last chapter, but then you get, like, Harry is just so confused. And I love how Mrs. Figg is, you can just visualize her character. She, just the way she talks, and she's just like, of course I know Dumbledore. Everyone knows Dumbledore. And Harry's, like, still trying to catch up because he just battled a couple Dementors, so I guess I'll give him some credit for that. But she actually gave a couple of wizarding idioms that I thought we could chat about or revisit. Jeff loves idioms, so we might as well be hanged for a dragon as an egg is synonymous. So this one was tough for me because I had never heard this phrase. But
Give me a second.
okay, this is what she says. She says
Hanged
for a dragon as an egg. This was in the context of when Harry, she was like, keep your wand out. The ministry is already, like, whatever. We're already in trouble.
Right.
Might as well be
So it's
hanged
like
for a dragon as an egg.
in for an inch, in for a pound, in for a penny, in for a pound type of a thing.
Well, it's more animal
That's
based.
betting. So it's more animal
Because you have, like, a dragon and an egg.
Right, okay, give it to me.
All right. Synonymous with hanged for a sheep as a lamb. If one is to be punished for committing a minor offense anyway, this is me with the unforgivable curses, you might as well go ahead with something worse if it gets the job done better. So if you're already in trouble and it's like a minor thing, you might as well go all in.
Okay.
I don't know. Hanged for a sheep as a lamb.
I have never heard of
I
that.
have never heard that phrase either.
Which is very rare for me.
Anyone surely somebody has, because it's a phrase, you know.
Idioms, yeah.
You know. And the second one she said is a more common one, I think, or a more common
Merlin's
phrase.
beard.
Not that common, but
Okay.
it's no good crying over spilled potion. Yes. So instead of milk, we got potion, because
Yeah.
I guess potions are more important than milk in the wizarding world, I would
Yes.
presume. But I thought it was cute that was like part. She's like freaking out because she's mad at Mundungus Fletcher.
Won't be the last time.
She's just like, okay, there were Dementors, we gotta go. Like, and Harry can't seem to follow. There's also a line where she's like, oh, they told me you were smart, you were intelligent, or something like that. And just like, she's just freaking out.
Yeah, no, she is totally freaking out.
She hoped that there would be murder on Mundungus.
Well.
Well.
Yeah, it's an intense scene. Like, it is another, I mean, Harry in the dark is the theme here.
Classic, yeah. Yep.
And, like, every layer of it, like, it's a lot in this chapter because we have this with Figg. Mm-hmm. We have Mundungus watching him. We have that Dumbledore has, like, scheduled this watch. We have the letter from Mr. Weasley, the letter from Sirius. We have the previous letters from the last chapter.
Yeah.
Then we have Petunia knowing facts, and then Petunia getting the Howler. And it's like all of it is framed as like Harry doesn't know what's going on around him, which is really frustrating.
I think the greatest thing about specifically Mrs. Figg is that it is an epic reveal that when explained, or like all of these things, when you find out like all of like the reasonings behind it, Harry doesn't know what's going on right now. Like it's not just like sort of, what is the word, like Deus Ex Machina, is that it? Mm-hmm. The thing where it's like, oh, it's just like convenient. Mm-hmm. Like it seems to have been built into like, well, of course Mrs. Figg would know Dumbledore, and Dumbledore would have the neighbor look over Harry sort of thing, right?
Presumably, yeah.
Is it not satisfying for you? Or is it not a satisfying explanation?
It is. It is. But I could see it either way. I could see, like, kind of having a character that's just like a neighbor that kind of likes Harry, and then kind of realizing, oh, well, maybe she should be connected in some deeper way.
I see, yeah.
But I don't know. Either way, it's pretty satisfying, and it does make some sense, especially to have her be a squib is particularly satisfying. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, so like that because it even kind of comes out because the ministry is like, we don't have any records of a witch or wizard, and then she's like, I'm a squib, and blah 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 blah. Can you see Dementors? Yes.
Yeah. We talked about the trace once before. This is one thing that I cannot let go, because I don't know what the word is. I don't trust the situation
reason
of the
why
trace.
Harry can get in trouble with the trace is because they know that there aren't any other wizards around.
I understand that. However, I know. But,
which makes it completely arbitrary.
But
because what you can never just have. What if Mundungus was there?
What I'm thinking, though, is that, like, so you're, okay, if you have this powerful magic, there's a couple things. One is the idea that, like, oh, it automatically goes away, and there's no way that they're, like, still watching sort of thing, which I'm like...
Watch everyone.
Yeah, and two, like, because the other thing I'm thinking is, like... If you can cast a trace charm on a witch or wizard, a young witch or wizard, couldn't you, get rid of all avadas or unforgivable curses that exist? You know the location, you know, like, the spell itself that's cast, and you know that, actually, in Harry's letter, it said that there was a muggle present. Specifically, it said that, which means that you would have to know that there was another living person there
so what
that
you're
doesn't
getting
have magic.
To is like, why exactly is the trace limited in the ways that it's limited? Why is it so targeted when it appears to have essentially no limits?
Yeah.
It can like tell proximity-based information, but they don't use the trace in any other way except for underage magic.
Yes.
Which is one of the useful sort of changes when Voldemort changes it.
Yeah.
You know, and so here's a question. Like, is it a magical artifact that is allowing the trace? Because, like, it's very specifically that Voldemort only puts this in place when he has control of the ministry. He adjusts the trace object. Maybe it's a magnifying glass.
What would
a
the
magical
object
magnifying.
be?
It's Merlin's magnifier.
I mean, you might as well be hanged for a sheep as a... Oh, wait, what was it? Hanged for a dragon as an egg. Yeah. If you can do this little thing, and you're, like, in the name of the statute of secrecy, why don't you, like, scale it up? Okay, now I'm like... I'm not trying to advocate for a panopticon situation, but I'm saying...
You're wondering why there isn't
one. Well, I'm wondering why it... Or if it is it secret? Or, like...
Well, let's be clear.
Why the kids? Who
the
cares?
Trace as it is... as you're describing it, is outrageously powerful.
Yes,
it is outrageously strong. Yes.
How do you know all of these pieces of information?
And the irony being like this, I just love the sort of chaos that's like, but it can't distinguish who casts what. So, like, parents just have to enforce it. So when there's magic done at the Weasley household by an adult... Yep. They're just like, it could have been the kid. It's near a kid. It is.
You're a kid. You just got to hang out with a wizard. You just attach a kid. Okay, here's the other thing. Is that now I'm trying to work through my crime prevention situation. So, like, let's say Draco's hanging out and Lucius just avadas people because they're Death Eaters, you know? So, like... nothing would happen because it's like, oh, well, is it just like in the line of code of magic, it's like, oh, spell was cast. Is there a wizard nearby? Dismiss. We don't even go to the next.
But it's not even a dismissal. It records it.
No, but I'm saying, what would it record it and go to the next line and be like, what spell was cast? Or is it just like, oh, we're going to ignore it. We're only going to like capture these things.
Well, this gets to all sorts of problems because think about the end of the last book.
Uh-huh.
Somebody casts Avada Kedavra in the general proximity of a child.
Yes.
So it would register.
Yes.
But your point in one sense is that they don't immediately apparate there to be like, who just cast the killing curse?
Yes.
With 50 people just like, saying. Got you, Wormtail.
Now I'm being...
End of story.
Now I'm being extremely like strict with the lawfulness. If you're saying unforgivable curses are strictly unforgivable, no exceptions, then...
And the trace set... Now, okay, this... deserves its whole video. You've blown it open for me. This is a story of epic proportions.
Oh no. Even though in Hogwarts Legacy we're exploring like the grayness with Sebastian about like, oh, what if you can use an unforgivable curse in like in ways that are not strictly morally terrible, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, I love this very, very much. I could continue talking about this, but maybe we should move on.
I know. This is what I'm talking about.
I wasn't even really thinking about the trace the whole time. The trace
in the wizarding world is one of those things that gets me, like, my brain
starts breaking. The foundable spell. Where it's metaphysical and it's sort of like, what's going on here? This is way too strong. Anyway.
So Harry gets literally expelled from Hogwarts in a letter.
And then they're like, we're also going to destroy your wand. We'll be there shortly. Have a good day.
Yes, it says, hope you are well.
Hope you are well. Mafalda. Isn't it Mafalda?
Yours sincerely, Mafalda Hopkirk, yeah.
Hopkirk. Outrageous.
Oh my gosh. I just can't. And I had questions also about, okay, the situation seems very time sensitive. And Mrs. Figg was all about, like, Harry had a nice suggestion of using Hedwig to try to talk to Dumbledore. And she's like, no time. Like, and then Mundungus, like,
she understood the stakes much better than Harry. But that's because Harry's in the dark. He doesn't know that he needs to be extremely cautious, which is a mistake. It's a mistake. They should have told him.
At the same time,
because he wouldn't have gone outside.
Harry gets an owl from Arthur Weasley.
Right.
So you're telling me that by the time that this event happens, Harry comes home. Okay, so we know that 22 minutes passed between the first letter from the Ministry and the second Ministry letter. Dumbledore is able to talk to Mundungus and then get to the Ministry, I guess. I'll just assume that Arthur's working at 9 p.m.
Maybe there's a way to overnight an owl and you like apparate it most of the way. Or you give it a little portkey treat and it eats the treat and it pops out.
And then at that time, Arthur sees Dumbledore, somehow gets the download of like, is that the right word? The lowdown, I don't know, of what's happening, and is like, let me write to Harry, and that owl gets there just in time before he leaves.
Yeah.
But okay, I guess magic, I don't know. Get a faster owl. Surely they have, so the overnighting, you have faster broomsticks.
Just pop a letter through the Flu Network.
I don't know. There must be a more convenient way to, or
it's not
faster
about convenience.
way.
That's right.
This is what I'm saying. They need the mind.
It was in this moment.
The message spell.
Oh, okay. That would be scary.
That would be scary. But Dumbledore definitely is making swift decisions. Once again, we saw this happen at the end of Goblet of Fire when he was just like, this sort of stuff needs to happen, and the minister is like not acting. Yeah,
he's a planner.
He's just like, all right,
he has thought through all of this. He definitely deals with anxiety.
Yeah. I laughed at Harry's inner thoughts of being like, is anyone gonna thank me for taking down two Dementors? I mean, part of it is
his aunt and uncle are just like, you did this.
Oh my gosh. I'm actually surprised that they questioned him and let him talk rather than like full out rage at him and like kick him out.
Well,
or
they had some
punish him
shock
or something.
going.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's fair.
maybe one way of interpreting why they were more like, we just need information. Like, we need information because they want to try to fix Dudley, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then we get the first of two insane information drops, which is that Petunia knows about Dementors.
Yes. I have a quote. That's one of the quotes I wrote down. I heard that awful boy
Yes.
telling her about them years ago. And Harry thinks she's talking about his dad.
Yes. Well, this is...
It's perfect. I love it so much.
This is extremely obvious that the story, parts of the story is already written.
Yeah.
Parts of the end of the mystery is already determined.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the end of the books necessarily, but like the main mystery of is Snape good or bad is already determined. It's already clear.
Yeah.
Even though this is obviously just one of those clues that in hindsight it's like, aha. Yes. Well, and she was talking about
It's
Snape.
really fast, and it's kind of like it's not explained in a very suspicious way. It's explained in a like she just ignores him. Of course she would ignore him, you know?
And Harry's just a jumble of information is getting bazookaed at him over and over again. He's like, I can't keep any of this focused. And then, the wand destruction thing always gets me.
Yeah.
There's just something about it, the severity of it, and the matter of factness of it. It's just like, oh, you're expelled, and we're going to destroy your wand. You know.
Do you think then that
and then they just reverse course.
In Wagadoo, which they practice wandless magic...
Yeah.
What is the punishment for expulsion, or do people not get expelled? Because you can't threaten students and be like, "Oh, we're gonna break your wand." Like,
they don't have problems with that.
Maybe they don't.
They're just not. Yeah, it's not.
Maybe they don't try to control it as much
to their
and be
punishment.
like, yeah, I wonder what it's like. So, well, I know there's an international statute of secrecy, but I imagine that if you're like if you're in like more rural places versus if you're in a more urban place where lots of muggles are around, like your experience with the statute of secrecy is probably, or your relation, like how you feel about it probably is different, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the trace again. Is the trace regionally locked or is it global? Is it universal?
Oh,
there's some other wizards out in the universe that it reads and it's like, oh.
There's a higher council Illuminati in the wizarding world, and they just like coordinate.
Couple million light years over there. There was an Accio.
Wait, in space?
That's what I was saying. I'm jumping the shark over here.
Oh my god.
But anyway, yeah, it's...
I was trying to read your face of like, I don't think what I'm saying
where my brain was going.
Is this concerning?
Because you said international statute of secrecy, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if the
Yes.
trace is international.
Yeah,
and then I went to space just for fun.
Okay. I have to say this really, really minor thing. A third owl comes, and
Yes.
it's the revision to the wand threatening breaking of the wand.
Yes.
The thing that I thought about immediately is one of my biggest annoyances is when, like, company newsletters or, like, emails that are sent to mass groups of people, including work, that's like, oh, entire school of education, here's an email. We get the email, then we get a second email, like, a minute later that's like, sorry, corrected, wrong link, and it just...
And then somebody replies all.
Drives me crazy. So that's what I was feeling, even though it's not exactly the same, because this is a
something
different...
actually changed.
This is a different situation. Circumstances have changed rather than like, do you know how much...
But it's also similar because it's like, well, maybe just don't send the first one. Why was it so urgent?
Yeah. Well,
but it's because Dumbledore shows up, right? And
yeah.
Hey,
but like...
I will destroy all of you.
I agonize when I send an email, especially if it includes a link or particular information. I will not send it unless I read it like 5 times. I double check the link, and I'm like, I do not want to waste your time.
You're preaching to the choir.
This is how I am.
We are insane. Apparently, other people are not.
Other people are just like they're just like.
To me, I would never send an email with a link that I then update.
Yeah.
I mean, when it happens, it is mortifying. If I have to follow up to the same person on the same day without them emailing me in between,
yeah,
I'm mortified.
Yeah.
It's a disaster. It's a disaster of a day.
We struggle with making mistakes.
Yeah.
That's
Do you think
basically
so?
what the root cause is.
Yeah. Gosh.
Oh my gosh. And Vernon Dursley is the absolute worst. It makes me very, very upset that Harry has to deal with these people. Do you know what he says? So I basically wrote what other characters said in this chapter. So they're talking, Harry's explaining
Yeah.
all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, what's your punishment? Do your kind have the death penalty? And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, he's a real jerk. There's just...
I can't believe that I understand like what is explained of like why
He hates Harry.
He hates Harry.
He
like,
hates him.
It's so sad to me that
You might hate him more than Snape.
I just can't.
He really hates him.
I can't.
He really hates him. Even at the end in book 7, when the other two characters kind of give glimpses of like some redeeming, and particularly Dudley.
Yep.
Vernon does not.
He does not.
It's
No.
just like, okay, bye.
Yeah, exactly.
Hope we never see each other again.
Exactly. Yeah. It says it to a teenager.
So I feel this
yeah.
brings us
Yep.
to my title for the day,
Yep.
which is Petunia is the Muggle Snape. And you
I read it with a
mentioned to
weird
me-
inflection because Petunia is the Muggle Snape. Okay. When you said it that way, because I was like, Petunia is the Muggle Snape. Like there's a comma after Snape. Okay, sorry.
Muggle being a description.
And then like Muggle
an
Snape.
adjective.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, it just really occurred to me how strong the parallels will wind up being. That they love Lily when she's young. Mm-hmm. They each have like a break with her based over different things, but then they each both choose to enact this magic kind of in her memory. Or work on her behalf, even though Petunia's is certainly less like life-threatening than Snape's tasks.
Yeah.
It's less dangerous.
Yeah.
But she's still, I mean, it's extremely similar. The parallels are extremely, extremely similar.
Yeah. And it's really interesting. So Harry does note the way that Petunia looks at him as she has never
when he says
looked at him
Voldemort is
before.
back.
Yeah.
I know. Because you get that sense, just that inkling of like this person actually loved her sister.
Yeah.
But something ruptured the relationship. And it's not clear what. And we'll find out in book 7 what it is. And it's just jealousy, ultimately. Which is, a deadly feeling.
Yeah.
And it's very corrosive. And it is in this case, as it is with Snape. Because it's also jealousy.
Yeah.
For, over love, different thing. But
Interesting.
they're very, very similar.
Oh.
Yeah, they're very, very similar.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of last things.
Yeah.
One was that Harry is very angry right now because a variety of things. One is like he's had a lot of emotions. We already saw that last chapter. He has a lot of like anger just like inside that he hasn't processed, and it's kind of exacerbated now. So you had a little bit of like, okay, he's isolated, his friends, no one's telling him what's going on. Now this very, very acute event happens and still nobody is like letting him in on anything. There's a line in there about red and gold sparks coming out of his wand as he's like trying to like control his temper. And I just wrote a note. I was like, "Oh, is this dark ancient magic happening right
Dark
here? Is it just
Gryffindor.
yeah, dark Gryffindor." Exactly. And I just thought that this chapter was really good, though. So, like, the Howler... Well, I'm gonna... Like, I know I keep, like, nitpicking on details, but, like, is this house just under surveillance? Like, everyone's just, like, right on cue, backstage watching in,
Well,
you know?
it's a really... interesting turn at the end of book 4 and the beginning of book 5, where it seems like Voldemort is back.
Yeah.
The main problem now will clearly be Voldemort.
Yes.
But it is not Voldemort. Voldemort is almost... It's just a boogeyman. Voldemort doesn't cause any of this, outside of, obviously, Cedric and getting back. But, like, none of this... I mean, it's indirectly caused by him.
Yeah.
Which is just a really
interesting
way. Because
on edge.
then it opens up this, like... It actually is really sensible. Like, Voldemort is extremely cunning, extremely smart. He's not interested in just gung-ho, like, I'm going to ruin everything and go into every problem and cause every problem. He's a very one-track mind, this book, and we'll find out, like, he's after the prophecy. He wants the prophecy. Because now it's very logical. It's like, I'm very strong. This prophecy happens. I go to kill a baby. It blows me up. I finally get back. I gotta make sure I don't make the same mistake again. Which actually brings me back to this whole, like, when he touches Harry again. I don't buy it. I don't think he would, like, push the limits like that right away. I
don't know. He's been in, like,
but
a
maybe
weird form.
He thought
and, like,
that the
after
spell,
a while,
the potion would work perfectly, but then Harry escapes again, and he's like, what was this? What was this? With Cedric and the parents, and what was that?
But so it's like a decade, though, of him being, like, not in his, like, whatever powerful form.
Yeah.
And so he was just playing with him. He was just doing a show.
So I talked myself out of it, where it was because he thought the potion was the answer. And then this next thing happens, and he's like, I gotta figure this prophecy out. Like, how did this kid escape me again? Surrounded by, completely isolated.
Yeah.
Surrounded by me and 10 Death Eaters, or however many are there.
Yep.
And he still escapes, and, like, the wands link, and there's these little beads, and ghosts came out of it and swarmed me, and that was weird. I gotta figure out what this prophecy is. Maybe the prophecy was like, anytime you, Lord Voldemort, attacks Harry Potter, you will lose. So just stop. Just don't attack him. Just do something else.
Nope. He is determined to...
Go attack other people.
No.
Harry can't stop you. He's not gonna stop you. He
like,
only gets provoked and provoked and provoked. Yeah, it's like, just leave him alone.
Yeah.
Anyway,
just living
all
his
tyrants
life.
create their own revolutions.
Remember my last Petunia?
Yeah. Very vague. Extremely vague.
Harry's just like, wait, what? What?
Extremely vague. It borders on too vague, where she might be like,
what does this mean?
What does this mean?
Yeah, no.
It should be like, remember your promise, or something like that. But anyway. Apparently this is in the letter. Or does Dumbledore... I don't remember if we find out, like, if Dumbledore went to visit with them later, or if it was all in the letter that he left with Harry as a baby.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think we get some closure at the end of this book about that part, because Harry's like, that was you that sent the Howler. And he's like, yeah, I thought...
I've only read this book one time
her.
through.
Yeah.
And
I've read it
I guess
many times.
Yes, Jeff has read it
Too many times, some would say. Not as much as book 6, though. Book 6 the most, for sure.
Yeah, for whatever reason, when I was building the little intro scene, like, book 6 is more visible in my brain than book 5. I don't know if it's because I'm just like, Wait, hold on, let me think. Umbridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I get those blurred. I get it blurred, I think. So I think it just kind of goes into yes.
Prophecy.
Yeah.
Sirius.
Yes, okay.
That's like the boundaries here. And then book 6 is Voldemort Dumbledore.
Oh, Dumbles. Well, that's all that I had. Also,
Me too.
Correction, Wormtail killed Cedric.
Okay, I think in the book it's Voldemort. In the movie it's Wormtail.
Didn't we just read that?
Yeah, but I think in the book it's like... No, maybe you're right. No, okay, does he kills the the ground.
Okay, I do remember. I remember flashes, but I don't remember who cast the spell. I guess it would be from his wand for sure.
Wormtail
uses the wand. Yeah.
Which, that's weird too. What? Why?
Listen, I don't understand.
Use your own wand, guy. Voldemort's gonna let you use his wand. No. This one.
Yes,
right
this is the wand. I was like picking my teeth with it.
That wand killed Cedric.
I killed
Ski-Doodle.
I killed Cedric Diggory. Well, until next time, wand's ready.